Hello everyone, Larry Bailey here with another weekly newsletter read through. If you want to know what happened last week so you can figure out what's good to think about this week in terms of what's coming up, check the rest of this information out. You can always find out this information directly by going to mbshighway.com. You can also make sure that you stay up to date by going to awesometechinc.com to see everything that you need to know. The 3 best products that are out right now that folks are finding a ton of value in are eCompensate, that helps you not only manage your payroll, but also your expense management with your teams. Also, the Bullseye EZ program that actually lets you visualize and put your data in from multiple sources into one place so that you can actually make informed decisions. And then last, make sure you check out all the education that's offered for all of your administrators if you're using the Encompass platform. This newsletter is July 8th, 2024, and this information is going to be the week of July 1st, 2024 in review. There are more signs that the labor sector is softening as job growth eased in June and the uptick in unemployment rate triggered an important recession indicator. Meanwhile, home prices continue to rise nationwide. Here are last week's headline stories we are going to go through. Same thing happening in the labor sector is the first story. The second story is private payrolls, annual wage gains slow. The next story is job openings remain a 3-year low. Next story is jobless claims trending higher. And the last story we'll go through is strong spring for home prices. If you listen to this on audio replay, thank you very much. If you want to check out the full video, head over to mortgage.community. It's free. Everybody can join regardless of where you work or what you do. And you can see all this stuff on screen that I'm sharing with you, plus check out all the other replays as well. So the very first story here that we're showing, and this is information brought to you from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Sahm-thing happening in the labor sector. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, reported that there were 206,000 jobs created in June, which was just above the estimates of 200,000. However, there were big negative revisions to April and May, which shaved off 111,000 jobs from those months combined, raising that unemployment rate from 4% to 4.1%. So bottom line, on this one, gang, while the headline job growth figure beat estimates, future revisions lower are a very real possibility, given that we continue to see this pattern from the BLS. Plus, it's important to look at both surveys within the jobs report, which told 2 different stories regarding job growth. The headline number, yep, that plus 206,000 comes from the report's business survey, which is based predominantly on modeling and estimations. The household survey, though, that is the part where folks actually get phone called and they're like, hey, are you working today? And that showed only 116,000 job gains, much lower than the headline number. Plus, the data showed that we continue to lose full-time jobs while gaining part-time workers, which is a theme we've seen for quite some time. The unemployment rate, as I said, rose from 4% to 4.1%, which is the highest level since November of 21. This increase triggered the Sahm rule, which is SAHM, which pretends a recession with a higher degree of certainty. Named after the former Fed columnist Claudia Sahm, this recession indicator flashes when the 3-month moving average of the unemployment rate rises by 0.5% or more relative to its low during the previous 12 months. So there you go. We'll see if it repeats, and we'll have to go back to this moment and check out Claudia's predictions. So private payrolls, annual wage gains slow is the next story, and this comes to you from ADP. Their employment report showed that private payrolls rose less than expected in June as employers added 150,000 new jobs versus the 160,000 that had been forecasted. This marks the 3rd straight month that job creation has slowed among private employers. Nearly all the gains came from service-provided sectors, which is 136,000 out of that 150. With goods producers only adding 14,000 jobs due to a slowdown in manufacturing and mining. It's a nice image brought to you on here from ADP, and it gives you the January kind of slope for the employment, and you can see this peak in March, and then it drops down for where we got the last report, which was June. Small businesses also continue to feel the pinch, as those with fewer than 50 employees added only 5,000 jobs across the country. This is compared to 146,000 new jobs added among medium and large companies combined. Annual pay gains decelerated for job changers, with ADP reporting an average increase of 7.7% in June versus 7.8% in May and 9.3% in April. Job stayers saw an average increase of 4.9%, down from 5% in the previous 3 months. The Fed is watching this closely, of course, as it can help alleviate wage pressure inflation. Bottom line, job growth has been solid but not broad-based. That came from Neela Richardson, the chief economist at ADP. To continue, quote, had it not been for a rebound in hiring in leisure and hospitality, June would have been a downbeat month, close quote. On to the next story, which is job openings remain a near 3-year low. So the latest job openings and labor turnover survey, that's the JOLTS report, showed that job openings rose slightly to 8.14 million in May, though April's openings were revised lower from 8.059 million to 7.919 million. This quit rate also held steady at 2.2%, while the hiring rate, that rose from 3.5% to 3.6%. So what's going on here is that the job openings in April and May were at their lowest level since February of 21 and are now well below the high of 12 million hit in 2022. Plus, the quit rate has also fallen over the last year, suggesting there is less poaching from other companies and fewer people feeling confident about finding new employment. Overall, this data is another sign that the weakness is building in the labor sector. Next story is jobless claims trending higher. So the initial jobless claims rose by 4,000 in the latest week. That totaled 238,000 people filing for new unemployment claims. Continuing claims, they rose by 26,000 as 1.858 million people are still receiving benefits after filing their initial claim. Bottom line here in this story is that both initial and continuing jobless claims trending higher in June, with the initial claims above 230,000 and the continuing claims topping 1.8 million in each of the last 4 weeks. The Fed, of course, continues to watch this closely for any rising trends in unemployment claims as they weigh their monetary policy and the timing for any rate cuts, given their dual mandate for price stability and maximum employment. As a matter of fact, earlier today, there was a lot of news where the Fed and those that watch the Fed feel like there's 200 basis points, also known as 2%. The 200 basis points in potential rate cuts this year, which of course, leads into rumors, speculations, who knows what is true. The Fed has said very clearly over its last few meetings that they need months and months and months of data before they make any decision. So we'll see. Here's the next story. This one is all about strong spring for home prices. CoreLogic's home price index, that showed that home prices nationwide rose 0.6% in May after rising 1.1% in April and 1.2% in March, showing it's been a strong season for home values nationwide. Prices are also 4.9% higher when compared to May of last year. CoreLogic's forecasts that home prices will rise 0.7% in June and 3% in the year going forward, though their forecasts tend to be conservative. ICE, formerly known as Black Knight, also reported that national home values rose by 0.3% in May after this seasonal adjustment, with their index showing that prices were 4.6% higher than a year ago. ICE, by the way, stands for Intercontinental Exchange, also the same company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, also the same company that owns the Encompass platform. Bottom line in this story for strong spring for home prices is that the latest rise in home prices reported by CoreLogic and ICE echo the strong growth seen in other major indices like the Case-Shiller and the Federal Housing Finance Agency, also known as FHFA. These reports continue to demonstrate why homeownership remains a good opportunity for building wealth through real estate. Here's where we get to the family hack of the week, and this recipe is for sugar cookies from All Recipes. If you're interested in seeing what this recipe is, head over to mortgage.community, check out the replay, and get down to about the 9-minute mark, and you'll see the recipe there. What to look for this week? All eyes will be on June's inflation data when the Consumer Price Index is released on Thursday. The Producer Price Index, which measures wholesale inflation, follows on Friday. Weekless jobless claims will also be important to monitor, given the week's recent updates that we've seen. And that's the full story. Again, my name is Larry Bailey. I want to really promote Awesome Tech Inc. That's Awesome Technologies. There really is nothing like it out there in terms of full capacity to help you with your custom development needs, as well as out-of-the-box solutions that are unlike anything else in the marketplace, and that's a good thing. Check it out. Head over to awesometechinc.com and set up a demonstration or just a simple call. My name is Larry Bailey. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Take care.